we can turn a problem into a possibility. Taking another man's trash and turning it into our treasures. My name is Mafalda de Freitas. I am an environmental scientist and I'm the Mega Plastics Program Director at CMDR. We research the entire spectrum of marine debris, from the largest plastic to the smallest plastic, so from your mega to your nano. Hawaii's location in the Central Pacific and its proximity to the North Pacific garbage patch. This is its biggest problem, but also its most advantageous solution. There's no plastic conversion here on island. Whilst there are a few companies that produce, for example, plastic water bottles, they use virgin plastic to do that. There is no infrastructure to take waste, post-consumer waste or marine debris, and convert it into a new product. It just doesn't exist. We're very dependent on either Asia or the mainland. What we want to do is we want to bring those capabilities here to Hawaii and create a small-scale circular economy, self-sustainable and self-sufficient in terms of our own waste management. And then that obviously brings new jobs, it brings, new skill developments for the communities, and then less reliant on these outside parties. People have mixed opinions about plastic recycling because it shifts the responsibility onto people instead of it being the big corporations that are producing a lot of this waste, instead of them stopping producing this waste. The problem is here, we have to do something about it. And so I think it's really empowering seeing that people are willing to take all this trash and debris that is on their doorstep and make positive things out of it. And I think there's people around the world that really want to do this, but maybe right now don't have either the knowledge or the means. So if we can do even just a little bit to help with that, that's a success. And so we have two streams of where we get fishing nets from. The first one being from local bounty fishermen. So the Bounty Project is a project where we pay commercial fishermen, $1 per dry pound of marine debris that they bring back to us. So our second stream of bringing in marine debris, the shoreline, non-longline fishermen, they receive reports from Department of Aquatic Resources when they are out fishing in the North Pacific. If they come across a conglomerate, either because they've spotted it or because it's become entangled in their prop, they will bring it aboard. On their way back to Honolulu Port, they will call us on our bounty phone to say, I have a net, come pick it up. So we coordinate with them to go to the port and pick up from their boats. So we sort it into fishing gear type, predominantly separate the lines from the nets. And then we see of these nets, which ones are made up of HDPE, high density polyethylene. It's a readily recyclable plastic. It's your number twos. So it's what a lot of your yogurt pots and milk jugs and things are made of. Maybe a lot of packaging is made up of HDPE. So it's a readily recyclable plastic. An easy feedstock to work with, whereas some of the other ones are harder to recycle because of their mechanical and chemical properties. So when we are faced with this huge amount of marine debris that's been brought to the warehouse, we are reliant on manual labor. We are a very small team, and so we have to go for the lowest hanging fruit, which is what is easily identifiable, that doesn't require us to go to the lab to identify what kind of plastic it is, and we can just reach out and grab and put here. So we extract the HDPE from these big conglomerates that we receive to store for recycling. 128 tons of debris from the ocean. So that's 128,000 pounds, which is a huge ecological environmental impact. So then once it gets to the recycling facility, we shred it. So our landlord has a shredder in the warehouse that he has provided us access to. We have sent those shreds to a company that we're collaborating with in Omaha, Nebraska, called Firstar Recycling. They have a sustainability branch called The Last Pound, and they are making plastic lumber. But whereas Dex uses maybe 20-30% recycled plastic, the rest of it is a wood filler and lots of other things, this company in Omaha, Nebraska is looking to use 100% our fishing nets in their boards. Why is that great? Well, it uses a huge amount of marine debris in one go. If we can make these boards out of 100% derelict fishing gear, 100% recycled plastic, there's a lot of use cases for it. You can make picnic benches, you can use your decking at home, you can make fencing, signposts. The process is very simple. We are just using at this stage HDPE, the high density polyethylene. I want to say about 7 metric tons, so 7,000 kilos stored of HDPE ready to be turned into products. We shred it and we sent it off to Omaha, Nebraska. There, they further crush it down into smaller pellets. They then have this big machine where they feed the shredded material into, that then melts this HDPE plastic. And at the other end, think of it almost like a Play-Doh. If you've ever played Play-Doh as a kid, when you squeeze the Play-Doh out of this like mold, they squeeze it through a board mold. So this long square pipe. Out the other end comes this, they chop it, and then once it dries hard. And so it's a very simple process, which is also another reason why we want to pursue that. It doesn't require mixing of any additives or any other type of processing beyond just melting it, pushing it through this mold, letting it dry. And so that also facilitates being able to use as much debris as possible. What's terrible that all of this debris washes up here, we can turn a problem into a possibility. We don't have to go out there to collect this material as a lot of other organizations do. You know, they take big ships to go and collect a whole bunch of stuff. It washes up on our shores for free. We have access continuously to this raw material that, yes, poses lots of challenges, but we can do some good out of it. It does mean that it ends up being more financially viable by having this constant stream of waste coming in. We don't have to buy waste from anywhere. It is deposited on our doorsteps. Hawaii is well positioned to make ocean plastic problems tangible solutions to this challenge. It's not something I think we should be proud of that Hawaii is faced with this problem, but I definitely think that we should be proud of ingenuity that we can provide to this solution and our ability to make lemonade out of this solution.